Realistic and lookalike cakes are everywhere right now. There's just something so fascinating about seeing one thing and believing it is what it looks like. I mean, why shouldn't we? And then bam, it gets sliced in half and it's actually cake. I've made a few food cakes before, like this one, but I've never hidden one amongst real food and had people struggle to tell which one is cake. So I challenged myself to do exactly this. After a quick look around my kitchen, I decided on replicating a potato. So this is how to make a realistic potato cake, not to be confused with a potato cake. Okay, let's begin. I start by using some leftover cake and cutting around a potato to give me a bit of a starting point. I remove all the caramelisation and then I built up a little bit more on top so it was a similar height to the original. Bit by bit, I'm carving away cake to round out the sponge, and once I'm happy with the shape, I cover it all in a layer of buttercream. To help really smooth out the surface, I find using a little cling film and gently rubbing small areas at a time gets a really nice base for the fondant. This can then go into the fridge to chill. My next task is to get this white fondant to exactly the same colour as the potato. As there isn't a potato shade, believe it or not, I'm going to have to figure out which colours I need to mix to match it perfectly. I start off with some ivory and I'll see where that gets me. It's not quite there, it kind of has a bit of a yellowy undertone to it, but I think if I add straight up yellow in, it's just not going to work. I have a little rummage through my food colours and I found one called Autumn Leaf. This has a bit of a goldy colour, so I try it on a small piece and it's perfect. So I add this to my main fondant and then I let it deepen in colour for about half an hour. As you can see, the colour has got slightly darker and it's going to be a great base to work on. I roll it out and cover my cake, gathering all the fondant underneath, removing the excess and smoothing out as best as I can. A little tip to make the surface super smooth is to use a little leftover fondant and dip it in corn flour and then rub it all over the surface. This will just gently buff out any lumps, bumps or imperfections. I'm so super happy at how this is turning out. I just can't believe how good it is already, and it's just basically a slightly gold coloured ball. But I know once I begin adding details and colour, it's going to look fantastic. I'm using a fondant shaping tool to add some little cuts and holes and things to the surface to mimic what I'm seeing on the potato. I then dilute some food paste in a little cooled boiled water and I use a clean brush and begin flicking the bristles and hopefully getting most of it onto the cake. It kind of worked. I also used a bit of a finer brush just to kind of rub in all those little dots and cuts and things just to make them stand out a little bit more. You may think that it's nearly done, but no. I'm coming in with some wet kitchen towel and I'm going to rub it all over the surface and take most of that colour back off. I know it seems a bit pointless, but it actually gives it a bit more dimension and variation to the surface, just like a potato. I'm just going to repeat what I did before, and this time tapping the brush on my finger really helped to make the dots land a lot better. And then I'm just adding little patches of finer dots here and there. I dab off any spots that have a bit too much food dye on them and then refill any marks I want to stand out. A bit more dabbing to soften the colour and I'm pretty confident I'm done. This was so much more of a challenge than I thought, and it was so much fun too. So, did you guess right? I hope I did a really good job on this and it kind of stumped you for a little bit. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and I might have a go at caking some more of these. Please do consider subscribing to my channel for more tips, tricks and cake decorating ideas.